All right, so South Park Snow Day just came out. We've been waiting in anticipation of this game for a while. It's definitely been on the radar here. We're three completed levels into the game now? And honestly, it's right up there with Stick of Truth for me. Obviously, gameplay's different, but I'm loving the South Park universe. I'm loving the mechanics. I'm enjoying this pretty good so far. Is it best game ever? I don't think so, but I'm down to play the rest of this for sure.
Yeah, I think I would call this a good, great game.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny. I think that the big kind of glaring issue for this one is the like main loop of gameplay is kind of straightforward. There's not a lot of depth to it. I
Hmm.
think that the card system makes it a little bit more fun. Obviously you get to go in different ways and then it resets, so you can try different things, use different stuff. But it like the main combat of your ranged weapon and your melee doesn't change too much even with that. To where, thankfully we're kind of coming towards we're in like whatever you want to say, the third act at this point.
Hmm.
Now that we know who the villain is. And so I don't think it's gonna stay too long to where that becomes.
Um, Austin, I just want to point out we're definitely not in the third act. Like, we're on chapter
No,
one.
no, we're definitely in the third act.
No way. The game is not that short, is it?
It,
Oh,
that's what
for
I've
sure.
been
It's
hearing a lot of people say.
Wow, it's
yeah.
that short of a game?
Hmm.
Fascinating. I
Five
really
action
thought we were
technically.
in for like at least a few hours where it's man, ooh. Yeah, if we are 60% of the way through this game, my hype for it's gone down significantly. I thought we were just getting it set up here.
Well, the thing is, there's not really anywhere. I mean, so the, I don't know. They one way you could argue it's longer is like there's so many skills that we're not going to get to, like
Yeah.
in the skill tree or whatever,
Hmm.
which is like
Oh yeah,
absurdly
no.
large for what this
Yeah.
game is.
There's definitely that.
But all of the other functions of this game, like the number of enemies, like variants, the number of upgrades, and basically that we've got almost all of the weapons and abilities at this point, makes me believe there's not much left.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's definitely a
Hmm.
little confusing there because you're right. We do have all the weapons. We do have all the like in-game power-up uses like the healing totem and whatnot. But the skill tree is significantly larger. So yeah, I wonder what that's going to be about.
I mean, maybe it's, you replay a bunch, but I can't. That's kind of the issues. I don't know that I would see myself coming back and replaying this a bunch of times.
Like I'm
This feels like a game that I want to play through once, experience all of the jokes, and then move on because like the gameplay doesn't really hook me deep.
right. They would need to change something significantly for me to warrant going through all this again. That being said, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they loop me back into completing that whole skill tree.
Right.
Yeah. I think of the three of us, I was the one that was probably the most down on this, just from everything we were seeing about it, and
For sure.
vice versa, what we weren't seeing before this game actually came out. Um, so I think I'm definitely probably the harshest one of this. But that being said, seeing reviews come out, seeing this come out at getting a 3 at IGN, getting 60 on Metacritic, I'm probably more in line with what Metacritic's saying, maybe a little higher because it's not without its merit, but um, I just think that it's a little bit too much jank. I've played better dungeon crawlers than this. Like Austin was saying, it's not super deep, not super complex. The cards add a fun little bit of variation to things, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, they every stage we've played has had the enemies being reanimated, so that even that is not super varied or whatever. I think because in my head I'm just comparing this to Stick of Truth and like how can you not? It's a really
Right.
fun game that's also South Park, and I don't think the writing's on that level. Um, it did get some laughs from me, and I wasn't really expecting that. So I will give him credit. There's some good jokes in here, but I think on the whole, I think there are more laughs per capita in Stick of Truth. And yeah, the length of the game, it really feels like we're up against the final level, and that's kind of disappointing. So um, yeah, I'm not super hot on this game, but I'm willing to see it through.
I really think the two biggest, well, one, like you were saying, Patrick, the jank. I don't know how much John experienced, but I had a couple of things that were recurring. Like I said to you guys, the colorblind mode was broken on my screen. Like in all of the
Mhm.
cutscenes, it was flashing back and forth between the two sets of colors, which was funny, but shouldn't work that way. And then I was having all sorts of weird stuff like with the wand where all of a sudden if I shot something too close to me, it would flash the screen and get stuck that way to where I couldn't really see. So not perfectly polished of a game.
Mhm.
And then the variant versions of the enemy are just kind of annoying. Like the fact that like the stun that they can do on you, getting captured, all of that kind of stuff feels like it happens too much to like be enjoyable. Like if you get two assassins on you at the same time and they just grab you back and forth, you
Right.
can't even like really stop them unless you've got a teammate right there to like help you out.
So I did like the variants on the enemies. You know, the children were fine. The bigger children were annoying with their shields for sure. And the sixth graders were just downright. I hated fighting those guys. They took too long to kill. And they definitely dealt too much damage. As soon as they jumped on you, you were just kind of screwed there for a minute. But I don't want to. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't enjoy this. It's definitely got its issues. It has its bugs. I clipped through a few things. I got hit by some stuff I don't think I should have been hit by. And the dodge button, while useful in theory, I could never get to dodge when I needed it to. So not sure what's going on there. But man, I am just. You guys really fucking knocked the wind out of me, telling me we're 60% of the way through. I thought this was just like teeing up the game. Well, I mean, that's
Especially-
fine. Who knows? Maybe we get to the end and they do reveal some way that hooks us into finishing the skill tree. I can't imagine what it could be, but if it's
I
that
mean,
big, I can't imagine they just made the rest of the game so short and that huge for no apparent reason.
yeah, they would have to have a really enticing carrot on a stick for me to want to come back and
Hmm.
finish up that skill tree
Yeah,
because I
no.
the
If it's
gameplay just
just
is not
looping,
good.
then yeah, that's
Hmm.
not enough for sure. They've got to have some kind of angle.
And
Well, to be fair, the skill tree is also just like 90% of it is plus 10 health, plus 15 energy,
yeah,
plus
Hmm.
it's a lot of that.
like there's like five or six things that are actually like affect something more broadly from what I saw.
Hmm.
So that in and of itself would make you like even less likely to want to go back and grind that out.
For sure, yeah. Like they're not even rewards worth getting.
Yeah,
Um, But all in all, I do enjoy this. I'm looking forward to finishing it. Disappointed it's apparently
Same.
coming so soon, but can't wait to see what the finale's like.
I don't know if I like how the art style translates to 3D. I'm not super hot on that. It doesn't look as bad as some people are making it out to be,
Yeah,
but it doesn't look great either.
I don't hate it, but what half of what I love about the actual animation of the show and the other games is when they're talking, their hands move up and down a little bit, or they move a little to the side.
Hmm.
These guys stood very still for 90% of this. Like, especially if it was a close up shot, they'd move their heads, but the rest of the bodies were not animated.
Yeah.
That's
It
my
is made
only real
worse.
gripe with it. I don't mind that they're 3D at all.
I didn't think it was that bad, except for when they have actual just scenes from the show right next to the 3D
Right.
animated versions, and then you go, like that's where they really ran into an issue there.
Yeah.
It's just too right in front of your face to not see.
No, absolutely. 'Cause you see them try to emulate the same kind of like movement here and there, but it's like it doesn't come close to what the show looks like.
Yeah.
It just looks weird. It kind of feels like a Family Guy game you might see on like the GameCube. Like it kind of gives those vibes a little bit. Not the GameCube, like the PlayStation or Xbox or something. Nintendo would never.
Man, I'm just
That's really
looking
all
through the list of achievements here, and there's, like, for us being so close, we have 5 of 30. Well, I at least have 5 of 32 unlocked. And I don't know, it just feels like there's so much more to do, but apparently the game's that short. I'm hung up on this. It's messing with me. But
I
yeah,
mean, Yeah.
Apparently, good chunk of the way through. I'm a fan. I can't wait to finish playing it. But if I ever want to replay a South Park game, I'm probably gonna pick up Stick of Truth, Fractured But Whole. Like if this is all it has to offer, it's fun but not great.
Stick of Truth.
So it looks like there's some kind of replay. So just now that I'm in the achievements, it says finish a map with one extra rule book applied, which means that there's probably like a bunch of
some
stuff
sort of,
you can do post to like mess with the rules. So then you can do like different run with different rule sets.
I mean, that could be interesting, but again, if that's all you have is, no ranged attacks or shields only or something,
for sure.
like that's still not fantastic. I'm open to it, but you gotta give me some pretty beefy rules to be playing with.
Yep, agreed. It's gotta be more than just do this challenge map for the fun of it. There's gotta be something at the end of it. And even then, I don't know if I'd even go back at that point.
Yeah, no, you've got to really have something enticing here. This just doesn't live up to the hype. Again, I've enjoyed playing it. I can't wait to finish playing it. But it's definitely not a Stick of Truth. All right, you guys got anything else you want to tack on to the end there?
Nope.
Guys, that's going to do it for our initial thoughts on the South Park Snow Day release. Overall, I'd say generally positive, but not super amazing. If you guys would like to see us finish this one out, stay tuned to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We should be going live here in just a few days to finish out the campaign. Maybe we'll take a peek at the post-game, see what that's all about, and we'll go from there. But that's going to do it for us for this time, so please leave a like on the video, comment down in the sections your thoughts on the game, and we will see you next time.